All right. So let me pull the first story up. Ah, fuck. Where is it? Somewhere in my files. Okay. Here we go. For the free show. So I actually want to give you all a little bit of context before the bombshell of this stream develops. And I mean, it's a really massive story, but we just want to lay the framework for what actually happened. So I want to share Andrew Tate absolutely getting destroyed by Greta Thunberg. And it's definitely something to behold. Okay. So from the Daily Beast, I know, not the biggest pinnacle of journalism, but here it is. If I can actually, pull up the fucking thing. Here we go. Okay. So, Greta Thunberg roasts kickboxing champion Andrew Tate under the genre Get a Life. Jesus Christ. Greta Thunberg had the perfect response to a tweet by Andrew Tate, the light heavyweight kickboxing world champion, when Tate tagged the climate activist in a tweet bragging about how his 33 cars and their emissions. Well, how his 33 cars went, sorry. I can't really speak English to a very good extent. But what happened is, this is just the heart. Please provide your email address so I can send a complete list of my car collection and their respective enormous emissions. Dude, I'm legitimately thinking that being right wing just attaches itself to being a horrible person ontologically. And maybe I am doing the meme now, but this is literally what it has gotten to. So obviously, ever since 2016, ever since I got into politics, the right loves to claim to have a monopoly on objectivity, rationality, the facts, and not making political decisions based on emotions, despite the fact that objectively it's the case. They will just outright deny any empirical evidence when it just challenges their viewpoints. And if empirical evidence reifies a certain political conclusion that aligns with being left wing, they will just go out of their way deliberately to antagonize it and to just be purely contrarian. I swear to God, like being right wing is actually like this hippie element of what like anti-corporatism was, what anti-establishment was in the 70s. And by that I mean it's just pure contrarianism to the point where it leads you to the most untenable positions. And if these absolutely atrocious views um get you castigated and ostracized from greater society as a whole, I'm absolutely for that. Like, to actively brag about knowing the fact that you are contributing to climate change is absolutely astonishing. I mean, this is absolutely insane. So, Thunberg, 19, suggested he enlighten her. Email me at smalldickenergy at alive.com. Oh, Jesus Christ, Greta. That is nice. That is absolutely wonderful. Okay. So obviously, Tate is tweeting, "Hello at Greta Thunberg. I have 33 cards. My Bugatti has a W16 L quad turbo fucking website generated password specifications. I honestly don't care about that." And that was that. Now, when it comes to Andrew Tate, there are further developments, and it gets pretty memey, as we're gonna hear. So this is an article on Tate being arrested. Here we go. So obviously, this is from the Daily Mail. Again, not a major source with a lot of journalistic integrity, but It'll do for now, trust me. So, toxic influencer Andrew Tate is arrested in human trafficking raid at his luxury villa in Romania after pizza box. In his smug video clip, clapback at Greta Thunberg gave away his location. So we're actually gonna get to the context. And remember when the right was absolutely losing their shit over this conspiratorial nonsense of how like some pizza place in I think the Northeast, it might have been New York, but I'm probably wrong on that. A pizza place in that region of the US, they thought was like housing this child sex trafficking ring. It was so obviously a lie from the very beginning. Any sensible person would know this. Why have that out in the open? Why use a freaking pizza parlor as like your rendezvous point if you're gonna traffic multiple underage children? It just doesn't make sense from any point of comprehension whatsoever. Like to a rational person, doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Here it is. Andrew Tate has been taken into police custody in Romania after cops raided his luxury home in connection with a human trafficking investigation. Holy crap. Get these ads out of my freaking face. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry. The prolific social media personality, 36, was detained for 24 hours alongside his brother, Tristan, as part of the criminal probe, Romanian prosecutors said following a raid on his luxury villa. Prosecutors said the brothers are suspects in an alleged organized crime ring that sexually exploited at least 6 women who were recruited, housed, and forced into performing pornographic videos for sale online, which is another ironic thing. Not only does the right constantly call us left-wingers groomers, but they think sexual expression is degenerate. They think porn is degenerate. They think polygamy and being an unmarried man involved in sexual relationships with multiple women is degenerate. It quote unquote corrodes the fabric of society, according to many more of the social conservatives on the right. And obviously, like it involves all these weasel words, but generally it does lead back to this conspiracy theory of a Jewish corruption scheme. So I find it ironic that many people on the right will constantly call like the left sex positivity degeneracy. They also think sexual education is grooming because they actually want to rape their children. Adequate sex ed actually empirically has been demonstrated to reduce rates of childhood sexual abuse, but that they want that to happen because they're horrible people and they're the actual groomers. So obviously the right, the cognitive dissonance, like everywhere on the right. So I find it ironic that they constantly adulate deliberately horrible people, misogynistic provocateurs like Andrew Tate, alongside defending him, despite the fact that he delves into that really hedonistic, live in the moment lifestyle that the right constantly says is degenerate. I mean, he's like a virtual pimp. And honestly, if you're involving yourself with consensual adults who do that for a living and it's exclusively among adults, then all the more fucking power to you. Okay? But the right can't tolerate that. And I'm pretty sure it's just a fundamental contradiction in their ideology when they like to hate his toxicity, but just completely omit the fact that he's, degenerate, as they would say. But let's continue. Self-described misogynist Andrew Tate and his brother will face questioning by the country's organized crime and terrorism team as a part of the probe into alleged sex crimes and human trafficking offenses. It's believed that his online spat with Greta Thunberg contributed to the timing of the raids. Keep this in mind, okay? Which came a day after he taunted the climate activist while posting alongside a Romanian pizza box, potentially confirming his location to authorities. The spokesperson for Tate told DailyMail.com, "We cannot provide any details at the moment regarding alleged reports that they have been detained. However, Andrew and Tristan Tate will have the utmost respect for the Romanian authorities and will always assist and help in any way they can. Yeah, just order them a few more slices, Mr. Tate. Actually, the police will actually give you a discount for a large. A once in a lifetime coupon. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Pizzagate, that name just continues to age better and better. Obviously, like, it's a completely baseless, like, insane QAnon BS, theory. But let's read on here. Andrew Tate Center and Tristan Tate, rear right, are escorted by police officers outside the headquarters of the Directorate for Investigating Organized Crime and Terrorism in Bucharest. Whatever that acronym is. After being detained for 24 hours in Bucharest, Romania on Thursday, police released footage of one of the raids, believed to be at Tate's front door. Cops refused to name their suspects. However, footage from the raid clearly matches images of Tate's home from social media. Zero effort in covering this up. Okay. Clearly, Tate, he's infatuated with himself. I mean, he has more of an ego than he can afford to stroke. I mean, eventually, I think, like, his sucking his own dick, essentially, is going to fizzle out. But here it is. Just yesterday, Tate released a video of himself after getting into a Twitter fight with eco-activist Greta Thunberg. It's believed that the pizza box signaled to cops that he was still in Romania. And apparently, I'm going to zoom in on it here, or at least I'm going to try to the best of the website's ability. This is specifically maybe a Romanian pizza place that's specifically located, oh my God, like my talking ability today, specifically located in Bucharest. And I don't know if it's a chain. I don't know if it's a single restaurant. I have no idea if it's a mom and pop thing, but it's suspected that him making that video helped the Romanian police identify where he was, because they were theorizing, and this is just pure speculation on my part, they were theorizing that he was in range of this pizza restaurant, and I guess that's what allowed them to confirm his location. But again, pure speculation. I have no idea how police investigations work. Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate are taken into custody on Thursday. They will be held for 24 hours for questioning in a human trafficking investigation. The State Department and FBI did not immediately respond to requests for comment on Thursday evening. Chicago-born Tate has been branded the king of toxic masculinity for his online diatribes against women. Holy crap, get a life. I am fully with Greta on this one. Honestly, and this is a little tangent by me here, I think she could have delivered that climate speech at the UN better. She could have been more professional, and I think it was performative, which it just led to me thinking that although she was a good force for leftism, the way she went about it was pretty cringe. But this is such a fantastic clapback. I mean, this is amazing, man. The U.S. State Department and FBI did not immediately respond to requests for comment on Thursday evening. Chicago-born Tate has been... Oh, yeah. Okay. Romanian outlet Libertatea first reported on the raids, citing information from sources that the Tate brothers were suspected of running an organized criminal group that coerced women into making adult videos. Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, if it's discovered that this information is not alleged, and it's actually confirmed that Tate and his business, illegitimate business affiliates, did coerce these women, I mean, like, what the hell is that, bro? And all this talk of, doing as much coercion, coercing women as much as you can into sex without it outright being rape, that's a constant, like, talking point of these red pill incel types, because they legitimately believe women are these infantile creatures, and if they do have any autonomy, should not have that decision-making autonomy on their own. And, some of these people might be underage. I mean, this is straight up rape. This is an absolutely egregious violation of human rights, allegedly. I mean, this is absolutely disgusting. So, following the April raid, which was reportedly prompted by a complaint from a U.S. citizen to the American embassy in Bucharest. Yeah, obviously, Romanian police only take action when the State Department gets involved. The Tate brothers were detained for several hours for questioning, but ultimately released as the investigation continued. And we're pretty sure that questioning led somewhere, aren't we? Andrew Tate has previously boasted to his followers that 40% of the reason he moved to Romania because the police were less likely to pursue any sexual assault allegations against him. Again, more speculation on my end, but this may be due to the culture of Romania. If I had to guess, like on a whim, I guess they're pretty far right. Obviously, like they are adjacent to the Balkans, at least. I don't know if they're technically in the Balkans, but they definitely are adjacent to that region. And they're Eastern Europe, and especially they're Orthodox, two of which characteristics are not mutually exclusive. So I probably have like more definitely dismissive and skeptical views of ideas revolving around consent and women's autonomy. So in a press release on Thursday, DCOT, Romania's police crime investigation unit, said they had raided 5 homes after obtaining search warrants. The raids were executed as part of an ongoing investigation into an organized criminal group, international human trafficking, and rape. Okay. Yeah, more footage of Tate. We can actually go over the raid footage, but we'll find that clip on YouTube. This is on the Daily Mail. Okay. So the police statement did not name the suspects at the center of the probe, but said they included 2 British citizens and 2 Romanian citizens. Oh, okay. Possibly their partners in crime, Andrew and Tristan Tate, are both dual citizens of the US and the UK. Who are these 2 Romanians? Oh, what's up there? The brothers were born to an American father and a British mother and grew up partially in both countries, so that's why their actions are so freaking odd. Okay, then. Police said the 2 British suspects lured female victims using the lover boy method, falsely professing their love and intention to marry them. Lover boy method. Okay, all right. I've never heard of that. The victims were then transported to buildings in Ilfov? God, those 2 letters look the same. Ilfov County, on the outskirts of Bucharest, where they were sexually exploited and forced to perform in pornographic videos for dissemination on social media, the police statement said. Again, all of this is alleged. I'm just reading what the Daily Mail says. Because I, as this kid who just makes YouTube videos because I feel like there's truly some stuff that should be said, just obviously doesn't have on-the-ground journalists. I mean, if I did, then I'd be getting content out a lot easier and a lot faster, but, you know. So, cops say the suspects used physical violence and mental coercion to force the women to comply with their demands, including intimidation, constant surveillance, control, and invoking alleged death. Holy freaking crap, man. Police say a total of 6 victims have so far come forward claiming they were sexually exploited by the organized criminal group. Oh my god, so this is possibly a network. Jesus Christ, okay. Cops did not name the men whose homes were raided in Romania, but images from the raids appeared to clearly match scenes from Tate's home previously posted on social media. They said that the 4 men were taken for questioning on Thursday, and police ordered the suspects to be detained for a period of 24 hours. Okay. Maybe they released them? I don't know. Okay. Born in Chicago, Illinois, but brought up in London, England, Tate has garnered a dubious reputation over his various business activities. Together with his brother Tristan, he allegedly set up a webcam business in Romania, in which young models told sob stories to unsuspecting male viewers. I mean, this is what a YouTuber I occasionally watch, her name is Tamimi, found. I think originally this content and what was on Tate's website, like this OnlyFans pimping business might have been covered by Hassan or Filion or both of them. And it contains some really suspicious shit. If we get through the main stories quick enough, we can actually watch that for the important information it has in it. Just yesterday, Tate found himself in hot water after getting into a Twitter spat with eco-activist Greta Thunberg. He called her out and shared a photo of himself filling up his Bugatti supercar, asking her to send him email addresses so he could detail the enormous emissions his gas-guzzling performance cars spewed out. Tate tweeted on Thursday, "Hello, Greta Thunberg. I have 33 cars. My Bugatti has a W16 8L quad turbo. My two Ferrari 812 competitive zone have 6.5 LV2. This is just the start. Please provide your email address so I can send a complete list of my car collection and its enormous emissions." Yeah, obviously, deliberately trying to provoke, deliberately trying to be a garbage human. Because I'm pretty sure people like this, they only care about what is absolutely now. They don't care about their posterity, and they don't care about the future of humanity as they exist on Earth, because he might be dead by then. So I guess, if he's that selfish, he has a rationale for not caring about where humanity goes in the coming decades. All right. Okay, so Ms. Thunberg issued a brutal comeback in a tweet to her 4.9 million followers yesterday saying, "Yes, please email me at smalldenergy@getalife.com." Greta funny, honestly. Greta funny. Tate first came to prominence when he appeared on Big Brother in 2016, but was removed from the program after a video surfaced online, which appeared to show him attacking a woman with a belt, a clip he claimed had been edited. Obviously, he does have, these sadistic leanings, these sadistic kinks, but I'm pretty sure the woman did, come out and saying, okay, yes, that was role play. And look, like, I'm absolutely not one to, investigate what goes on in people's bedrooms. But I think you can, be freaky and be sadistic without being legitimately a misogynist. Because obviously there's some people for which they actually legitimately understand the idea of consent and value the understanding of it, at least as a virtue. And there's also people like Tate, for instance, who the line between what is role play, what is a fantasy and what is consent is actually blurred. They think adults, dabbling in this fantastical scenario is actually real life and is how consent as a mechanism works. So scary stuff. Obviously, I don't think we should have like a sexual Stasi. Republicans do though. But, oh man, this shit is really scary. So, since then, he has gained future notoriety for a string of comments about women, including suggesting that they bear some responsibility if they are assaulted. Oh, I guess this is like the "what were they wearing" meme. Yeah, an incident which led to him being banned from Twitter. Jesus Christ, good. Tate had been banned from Twitter since 2017 until Elon Musk allowed him back on the platform last month. This is a breaking news story. Oh God, Elon. I'm pretty sure I had that set up for the third rail as a story, but oh my holy God, Jesus Christ, what is Musk doing? Okay, so here we have this chud, raging after Greta Thunberg absolutely destroyed Tate, and we're gonna debunk this video. Then we're gonna get to the next stories, which involve Musk, actually a Democrat, clamping down on TikTok, Abby Shapiro, Ben Shapiro, and a lot more other nonsense like Pokimane catching flack. Oh my god, dude, I really do not want to cover the Twitch sphere. I really do not. But, it's a current event that involves politics, and I have to do it. So let me pull up this piece of cancer. I don't think I'm going to be able to get the whole way through this because, Jesus Christ, it is bad. It is really, really freaking bad.
Greenhouse gases.
Yeah, deliberately being a piece of shit. Like he going as far as to point it out. Like, haha, I'm polluting the environment and there's nothing you can do about it. Like conservatives will at the same time praise Tate for what he's doing, but deny the scientific consensus on climate change. So which one is it? Like, why do we have less as leftists have to be concerned? Because if you're saying on the one hand, okay, climate change isn't real, then why would Tate even provoke it? But on the other hand, if climate change is real, then okay, like, don't we have the justification to be enraged? Like, what you're saying is a contradictory idea in and of itself. Like another example of this right-wing dissonance. Which this guy perfectly freaking embodies. Let's get to it.
Obviously a stranger to online controversies, but now the mainstream press is commenting.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ, dude, so echoey. Like I optimize my audio so it doesn't pick up the reverb around this room, which is just, an apartment office somewhere near Tampa. But Christ, man, like you can do better than this.
The fact that I was informing,
like illegal pimping makes money. I guess you have to, launder it, and after you pay the laundering fees, you only get so much back. But Jesus Christ, do better than this, man.
That my very extensive car collection with internal combustion engines, which run on dead dinosaurs, have an enormous emission profile. And she replied by telling me her own email address.
Guys, gotta tell you, when I was growing up, adults watched so.
Yeah, which was smalldickenergy at goffuckyourself@gmail.com, I think. Yeah, wonderful clapback.
Soap operas for entertainment, okay? And I believe a lot of adults still do, right? Especially older adults.
Okay.
I mean, my grandma, she loves The Young and the Restless, okay? She's always like, can you
Right.
turn the TV to The Young and the Restless, right? And I'm just like, wow. But for me, I guess my version of a soap opera is the internet.
Okay, and for you audio listeners, I'm actively turning my hand with a couple of outstretched fingers, and making a circular motion because I want him to get to the fucking point already. Jesus Christ! Like, okay, soap operas, right?
Right. I love watching the internet drama because it is quite entertaining. And my favorite subgenre of internet drama is definitely politics, because politics has become a soap opera. It really has. I mean, all these politicians are prostitutes and actors.
We know you're a political channel,
right? And
wait, prostitutes? Okay.
They have created one hell of a soap opera in Washington, right? So again,
how is this Washington? Like, I don't think Greta Thunberg is based in Washington, and obviously Tate moved to Romania. So what the hell's going on here?
This is quite unfortunate for the average everyday American because these politicians are ruining people's lives. But I gotta say,
yeah, Christ. I mean, overturning abortion protections, contributing to climate change, actively allowing children to be shot, starving infants, or at the very least trying to shoot down legislation that would actually feed infants during a time of infant food shortage. Yeah, the Republicans, oh man, we got to vote them out, man.
At the very least, they're doing it in the most entertaining way possible. Again, it is sad and unfortunate, but I can't deny the entertainment factor in our modern day political discourse. It's really tough.
Now you know why I cover it.
Now, this story right here does not involve politicians. However, it is political and it is quite entertaining. Okay, in fact, this is one for the books. Okay, as Greta Thunberg and Andrew Tate are currently in an internet beef after Andrew Tate decided to troll Greta with his car collection. Right? Apparently, Andrew Tate is very rich. Right? If you didn't know, he has a.
Yeah. So why is Greta trolling back a bad thing? Like smalldickenergy at goffuckyourself.com or wherever the @ symbol is placed. That's clearly a facetious and flippant response. So, like, here's another contradiction in their ideology. Why, whenever why whenever Tate lashes out at someone completely unprovoked, why is it an own? Why is it an epic takedown, a destruction, an annihilation, an evisceration, an absolute steamroll? But why, when they clap back, is it, being triggered? Is it, getting too emotional after a provocation? Why is it, crying and screeching? Can you explain to me that? Like, because I honestly think to destroy someone, quote unquote, on the internet, and obviously that's why I titled my old videos that way. And I still want to continue that tradition. Why I titled my old videos that way, because, clearly, if you just consider it a rhetorical win, it just makes it that way. I mean, Ben Shapiro had the absolutely most facile responses to students who questioned him at his talks, but every time he would say destroyed, eviscerated, absolutely annihilated. And I'm like, okay, you've got a bunch of chud dumbasses just lining up in the comments section of the video and talking about how much, Ben destroyed him. He made such good points. But, if I could do that with a left-wing audience, they'd say the exact same thing. So whenever we do it to them, according to them, it's obviously, getting emotional, being a crybaby, being an SJW, getting triggered, being woke. But when they do it to us, again, completely unprovoked, it's a destruction. Like, so I don't understand that.
Massive extent.
Double standards.
Car collection. And he decided to not only brag about his extensive car collection to Greta, but also the emissions that he was putting out into the atmosphere, okay? Contributing to climate change, right?
Wait, okay, so this guy is putting climate change in air quotes. Okay, so is Tate not doing anything? Is he lying about the emissions he produces? Is he lying that emissions contribute to climate change? Like, what is he doing? Because you're going with two different narratives at a time. This guy, this conservative, doesn't believe it climate change, but at the same time, he thinks Tate is owning Greta. I think Tate believes in climate change. He just doesn't care. But this conservative who's defending Tate just doesn't care. So get your narrative straight, man.
Contributing to climate change. Again, not just his cars, but also his lifestyle in general, flying around in private jets and stuff like that. He was trolling Greta Thunberg with that. And we're going to show you guys exactly what he put out there. And let's just say Greta did not respond too kindly to that. And that has erupted a whole bunch of, responses from the left based off Greta's response to Andrew Tate. Okay, so I want to talk about this because, again, this is...
Yeah, she freaking destroyed him. I agree.
Entertaining stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it. Greta Thunberg accused influencer Andrew Tate of having small D energy after he tried to troll the 19-year-old climate activist by bragging about his sports cars. Now, let me say this about small D energy. I don't know what small D energy is. I wouldn't know how to identify it because I'm not concerned about people's penis sizes.
Okay, one, the right has used that as a pejorative all the time. Two, the way people use it contemporarily pretty much boils it down to, I don't think you're confident enough in yourself. That's what I think it means.
Right, especially another man's penis. Okay, I'm not concerned about another man's penis, so I don't know exactly what that is or what people mean when they say that. And that goes for the reverse as well, too. The former kickboxer turned internet commentator has faced increased scrutiny in recent months over his misogynistic statements. Tate tweeted at Thunberg this week, listing out his sports cars and their enormous emissions, bragging about wealth being a fairly consistent part of Tate's brand.
Yeah, meat from trafficked women. Allegedly. I mean, Jesus Christ. Tate's statements are not aging well, folks.
Comments have previously earned him suspensions from a number of social media platforms. Now, this is Tate's tweet here. He says, "Hello, Greta. I have 33 cars." He talks about his Bugatti, his Ferrari. This is just a start. Please provide your email address so I can
again,
send a
with
list of my
the
car
default
and their,
Wi-Fi password specifications. It's like listing off your computer specs. It's like 2LG6 freaking R8, like all this nonsense. Okay, just does it run good? Okay, fantastic. Good gas mileage. Good processing. You can play a 60 FPS game of Call of Duty on it. I'm down, bro. I'm down. Like, don't hand me the entire owner's manual. I just want a general idea of how things go. Okay.
Submissions. So again, he's bragging about how much he's contributing to climate change.
And they love Elon. Like the right dispels the myth of climate change, despite the fact that they say, oh, facts don't care about your feelings, and the left is anti-reality, despite the fact that the scientific consensus ratifies the left's conclusion on climate change, and at the same time, they like Elon Musk because he's providing innovative solutions to current problems, but they can't get a narrative straight for the life of them. This is what I really don't like about conservative ideology. It is the most inconsistent ideology. I mean, I think the left optically looks somewhat inconsistent, but leftists have to explain it, and libertarians will absolutely just bite bullets to where it just kills them optically, but conservatives don't care about consistency.
Right? Okay, you know this is going to get under Greta's skin. Okay, this is going to get under Greta's skin. A follow-up tweet included footage of Dunsberg often mocked.
Wait, but whenever we repudiate your statements and, actually clap back at you, well, how is it getting under, how does it not get under your skin? Okay, if I insult you back, what's stopping me from saying it's getting under your skin? This is so freaking arbitrary.
Heavily dramatic United Nations address on climate change. That footage is cut with clips of Tate's flying on private planes and driving sports cars. So let's watch this.
It's all wrong.
Why?
I shouldn't be up here. You have stolen my dreams. Yet.
Yeah, let's kill the planet more. Well, the planet's actually fine. It's just us that's going somewhere. Pack your shit, folks, because we're not going to be able to live in certain places, especially where I am. I think in a couple centuries, Florida is going to be entirely underwater. Pack your shit, folks, because in a couple of centuries, we're not going to be able to live in certain places, especially places that are built next to shorelines. So might want to consider moving.
You all come to us young people for hope. How dare you?
What point is this trying to make? So if you're ever listening on audio, I don't think that's going to happen because this show covers current events and it doesn't have, much of an audience at all yet. But what they're doing is interlacing clips of Tate driving his fancy cars with Greta's speech. But what is the point? Okay, we know that you like polluting, but what's the point? Yeah, we're aware. Okay.
Yeah.
My childhood. How dare you?
Okay. Yeah.
All you can talk about is money.
So let me go through my pockets. It's hard to find my cigars amongst all the money.
Yeah, made from traffic.
With your empty
Oh my god, him acting like this shit is funny, it drives me up the fucking wall, dude.
words, entire ecosystems are collapsing. How dare you?
Wow. Yeah. So I don't know why. When I first watched that, I was like, I don't know if this is that funny. But then the more I watch it over and over again, the more hilarious I think it is. So yeah,
Right,
Tate
I believe
was
you.
trolling her there. This is how she responded. Tate 36 did eventually get a response from Grundberg, or Dunsberg, they spelled the name wrong. On Friday, the activist told
Oh my god, can he read? He has 10 different pronunciations of her fucking name. Christ, man.
he had small.
Actually, yeah, he can't read because if he was actually able to read, then he'd know that climate change is real.
The energy. Now, if you look at this tweet right here, okay, this is what she said. Then she got 1.7 million likes. Now she's responding to Andrew Tate, and the left thinks this is some type of own. Okay, this is a own, right? She owned Tate, right? She got him, right? Got him, right? This is a W for Greta.
Okay, it was shit like, in the name boys, and, shit like, there are only two genders. You view the most, minuscule statements as a complete obliteration. Ben Shapiro destroys campus Marxist in seconds. The most insubstantive statements. But, when this woman comes with clapback, which, definitely my sense of humor, definitely right up my alley, definitely the way I shit talk, absolutely the kind of blood sports I'd engage in. And it's spurging? And it's lashing out? Come on.
Right, she put his man in his place.
This is all so subjective.
Tate responded, he says, how dare you? And then we have Soul Simp number 1 here, Hassan Abi,
So simp? What?
Yogurt's nephew, who wears fingernail polish, by the way. Right. He says, how dare you? And then we have Soul Simp number 1 here, Hassan Abi.
So simp? What?
This is her own, right? She owned Tate, right? She got him, right? Got him, right? This is a W for Greta, right? She put this man in his place. This is what they say. Tate responded. He says, "How dare you?" And then we have Soul Simp number 1 here.
Soul Simp?
Chank Yogurt's nephew, who wears fingernail polish, by the way, right?
Yeah, the anti-cancel culture, anti-free speech people love like calling out the fact that Hassan wears nail polish. What the fuck? Okay.
He says, trying to beef with teenagers instead of adults and still losing is wild. Crypto says, I did not see that coming. The Wolf All Street, he says, I was literally about to tweet the same response, then saw yours. CJ Peterson says, I can't believe you assume Cobra takes gender. I thought you people weren't allowed to do that. Yeah, you can't assume that he's a man, right? You can't assume that he's a man. You're not allowed to do that, right? Kara Abbey, CPA, says, I'm always amazed how many...
Doesn't he constantly emphasize masculinity and how he's a man?
People think it's okay for a man to harass a woman.
Like, he constantly emphasizes, okay, you've got to look the part, you've got to dress the part, and you've got to align with masculine roles as a man. That's what Tate continually says. So,
Okay,
like, I don't know why the fuck you're doing this, man.
When she takes up for herself, the outrage. I mean, I
So
don't think
much
I'm outraged.
contradiction, cognitive dissonance, undermining of his own narrative in this. Like, he does not care about consistency
what
whatsoever.
Greta said, right? I'm not outraged. I mean, I think she just clapped back at him and that's it, right? I mean, nobody's outraged by that. I just think it's hilarious. In my opinion, well done to this guy for ensuring that 32 cars with massive emissions are off the road at any given time. Corporate clip, but sadly, it is factually misplaced. In the case of high-end cars, it is the production process that emits a lot more carbon because of the use of bespoke techniques and materials and global sourcing at any cost.
Yeah, so they're inevitably getting produced. Yeah, okay, that's bad. Like, so if they're getting produced, which actually emits a lot more, and then he continues to drive them, then, like, what's your reputation? I don't know what that Twitter user's point was.
Simon Harris says, nothing says I am secure in my masculinity, like trying to initiate a pile on against an autistic teenage girl. Yeah, so they're trying to make Tate out to be some type of bully, right? He's bullying Greta Thunberg. Now, I thought, after you get done being a teenager, criticism
Yeah, and he failed bullying her.
becomes fair game because Greta Thunberg is like 19, right? She's 19. She's not a child anymore. She's not really a teenager anymore. She's a full-grown adult. I think that, it's fair game to criticize her in her views. But what you notice...
What criticism is there? Like, do you have any argument against her besides her, delivering things in an edgy way and being cringe? Because that's the only criticism I can make of her. Like, all her talking points on climate change, I absolutely agree with. And I think even in the UN speech, her central message was very sound. But again, I think it's on a purely aesthetic level with me and my understanding of her message.
Here, in which Andrew Tate is going to call out here in a video I'm about to play for you guys, is that mainstream media picked up on this, and look how they're characterizing this, right? They're characterizing this as some type of own, which is exactly what...
But yeah, because they politically align with Greta Thunberg. Like, why do you think these fracking billionaire backed channels constantly keep on saying Ben Shapiro destroys X or annihilates the argument in favor of Y? Like, because they like him. Because these, like, establishment liberals like Greta. That's just how it works. Like, obviously, in the debate, I think my guy is going to win and trounce the other guy who disagrees with me politically. That's just how, like, this blood sport works.
Liberals on Twitter are doing as well, too. Okay, they're characterizing this as some type of own from Greta Thunberg just because she put an email address.
Thunberg, oh my God, read, bro.
In response to Andrew Tate referring to small penises, right? Whatever reason, again, the mainstream media has decided to run with this and to, basically, again, claim that, Greta Thunberg has owned Andrew Tate, right? Owned Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate actually responded to this, and I want you guys to take a look at his response. Take a look.
Releasing greenhouse gases. I'm obviously a stranger to online controversies, not something I often do.
How? This is the second video. Oh my God. Well, not the second video, but a video in response to her quote tweeting him. How rent-free does this climate activist have to live in your head for you to pose with like some sort of embroidered robe in an office room, smoking a cigar, and like have a cameraman being paid to film you? What the hell is this, man?
The mainstream press is commenting on the fact that I was informing Greta that my very extensive car collection with internal combustion engines, which run on dead dinosaurs, have an enormous emission profile. And she replied by telling me her own email address. Greta's email address is, I have small dick energy. Why would that be your own email address, Greta? Strange. I mean, also, I don't want to assume her gender. It's 50-50, but it is what it is.
It's because that's not her actual email address, Tate. And it's an edgy repudiation of your argument against her. That's like, if you're trying to find inconsistencies and gotchas in a shit-talking fest, you're shit-talking wrong. It's just not how any of this works.
I'm not actually mad at Greta. Please bring me pizza and
No, you clearly are, to the point where you have to stage a video in which you're smoking a cigar and bringing a pizza into frame and then proceed to do whatever the fuck you did with it.
sure that these boxes are not recycled. Thank you. So I'm actually mad at Greta, right? Because she doesn't realize she's been programmed. She doesn't realize she's a slave of the Matrix. She thinks she's doing good. Someone has zapped her down.
What is the Matrix? Okay, the Matrix was initially, and I always thought this was the message because, you know, the fucking Wachowski sisters actively acknowledged this, that it was a celebration of their gender identity, their actualizations of themselves, and a celebration of their transness. So obviously, right-wingers again fail to interpret art. You know, I agree with the politics. I think that all the Matrix movies sucked. You know, you can leave the stream, you can disagree with me all you want, but I think all of them suck. Yeah, so obviously they can't interpret art, and I think the Matrix, whatever it is to them, just includes the liberal media informing their viewers of what their opinions are. And, you know, okay, like, what's preventing me from saying you're a part of the Matrix? Like, okay, you pander to these bitter incels, these desperate, lost, disillusioned men who are absolutely desperate for an emotional connection with a woman. So what's preventing me from saying, okay, they're in the Matrix, and what I have is truth? Because every interlocutor keeps on saying that what they're espousing is the truth. Okay, so like, what you're doing does nothing. Actually make an argument in favor of your position.
And convince her to try and convince you to beg your government to tax you into poverty to stop the sun from being hot.
No, that's not how taxation works. Okay, so taxation into poverty, that's not how it was. So, okay, if we raise taxes, especially on the upper 1%, because that's who I want to raise taxes on the most, and their capital gains, so we actually, you know, find your trafficking dollars and tax it. Well, if it was legal, but let's say your immoral business was legal, but we're actually taxing that revenue. So I'd have sufficient healthcare, sufficient infrastructure like roads, public water fountains. Under an ideal society, gas would be actually nationalized. So, you know, it'd just be an absolutely public good for most Americans. Subsidized car payments, subsidized mortgages, all from taxes of the rich. And when people say, well, talk to a homeless person. Did they ever say, okay, no, I couldn't afford to pay taxes, that's why I went homeless? Or talk to people in poverty. Rashik, will you do films or other art analysis? Here's the thing. I actually have a channel dedicated to nonpartisan analysis of art. It's just a celebration of like what I like in terms of video games. But with this channel, I can definitely like get more partisan than I am. So yeah, I think I will definitely be releasing a few video essays on media, on leftist media, and on my criticisms of right-wing art, if I actually, you know, find the time to do so. So,
And then, because I called her out on it, the global Matrix got this bot farm to like and retweet and all this bot commenting to try and pretend that her telling me that she has a...
Yeah, again, whenever right-wingers mobilize on a video, because they are better than us broadly at mobilizing, what's preventing us from calling them NPCs? Like, because the way you use bots, it just seems to me like it means people who agree with Greta Thunberg and who think she destroyed you. Like,
called it in her own email address.
Yeah. Whenever they call us out, we're NPCs. Whenever we call them out, they're still free thinkers. They're still outside of the Matrix. But, okay.
Somehow teaches meals. Welcome to the new episode of The Clown Show. But now
what?
I know at least that Greta...
The what?
To like and retweet and all this bot commenting to try and pretend that her telling me that she has a small dick in her own email address somehow teaches me a lesson. Welcome to a new episode of The Clown Show. But now I know.
Dude, you're the entire fucking
at least
circus, okay?
That Greta, with a little hate-filled face, bitter, sitting somewhere without the heating on, in the cold, a little hat, shivering, use my tweets, which is going to make my Twitter account far more fun into eternity.
Yeah. So
What?
I think that Andrew Tate has a point about how the mainstream liberal media has picked up on this. Again, I showed you guys all the articles that were being written, right? The bot articles that were being written to try to make it seem like, you know, Greta Thunberg just really burned Andrew Tate. She roasted him.
Well, again, what's calling us from labeling you as bots? What's stopping us from labeling you as bots? What is it?
Which, I mean,
Like, you're the anti-empiricist crowd. You constantly deny scientific truths, epistemological truths, sociological truths, and in general, truth about the reality of the world. Because people who know what they're talking about, people who are educated, they're broadly left-leaning. Like, this is why people like you don't have institutional power. You just make terrible, contradictory, incoherent arguments.
was her response, you know, okay? Yeah, I guess it was okay. I thought it was kind of funny, okay? But I didn't think it was the own or the burn that the left is making it out to be, okay? In response to Greta's response to Tate, you have people
That's just called us clowning on him.
on the left, you know, people like Billy Baldwin here, basically talking about Andrew Tate's penis, right? Calling him little eggplant, right? Little meat, right? Talking about Andrew Tate's penis. Again, I don't understand why another man would be talking about another man's penis. I'm not concerned about another man's penis.
Wait, Andrew Tate is constantly talking about body count, masculinity, abs, hypergamy, getting the attention of women all the time. Like, okay, these red pill types constantly claim that men should be independent of what women think about them. They should pursue greater goals in life before actually pursuing women. And to an extent, I do agree with that. For you to actually be effective in a relationship, you do have to have some sort of greater thing you're working towards in your life. But all that is contradicted by the fact that they spend the entirety of their time telling each other how to be better with women. So I really don't understand their narrative. This is the point Destiny brought up.
And that's why I don't really find the response to be all, you know, that great. But hey,
Yeah, because he's your guy. And we find her response to be great because she's our girl. Okay? It's just as simple as that. We like when our people clap back at your people. It's just that simple, man.
2022 is totally fine to say this type of stuff about men. And this is where hypocrisy comes in from the left. Because again, imagine the left's reactions if the roles were reversed, in the sense that a woman started trolling a man and the man responded with, oh, your vagina smells bad, right? Your vagina stinks. Or you got saggy boobs, right? Or saggy breasts. Or he said something about a woman's body parts to try to degrade a woman. Do you think that the left will be responding this way, right? Do you think that this would be appropriate, right?
What is the political orientation of that person that is being responded to? Because obviously, if it was a right-winger that got her vagina called smelly and her boobs saggy, then the left would be all over that shit. Because again, it's our guy making fun of this right-wing girl. But, you know, generally, I don't think people should be made fun of immutable characteristics. I think if you're making fun of an attribute of someone that people can control, then I think that's permissible. But
not necessarily sure they react the same way. Now, again, I think it's fair game. Okay, if she wants to say that, fine. But if Tate turns around and says something about her in a disrespectful way like that, right, with those type of references, I don't want to hear anything. Not that I think that he will. I don't think he would stoop that low, because again, in 2022, you can't say anything about a woman's private parts like that. You can't make fun of a woman's anatomy, right? But it's totally fun to make fun of a male's anatomy, right? Even though I don't know how Greta would know what Andrew Tate's penis size is, but you know.
Yeah, no, I don't think making fun of penis size is, you know, in the best interests of everyone socially. But the reason that left-wingers like this, even though I think Greta's audience is, you know, full of establishment liberals, the reason her audience likes this is just because she's clowning on Tate, and it's that simple, man. I don't know why you don't get this
He's
simple
saying that he gives off this type of
concept.
energy, right? Not sure how many penises.
We're gonna take a
Greta
break
has
after this,
interacted with to
but
be
it won't
able
be
to
long.
know
I
what
just have to
energy
urinate.
can predict the size of somebody's penis. Apparently, she's interacted with enough of them to make that type of statement, right? To know that. But I'm just saying, I feel like if the roles were reversed, I don't think that this would be okay. I just find it funny how it's totally fine with making fun of a male.
Yeah, you know, don't make fun of immutable characteristics.
body parts, right? His sexual anatomy. But I don't think that this will fly with women, right? I think it all should be fair game. But I'm just saying, it's just funny to me how she can say something like that, and the left, who again, if a man said that about a woman, it would be okay. They're gonna try to praise that, right? They're praising that. It's just funny how that works. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.
Yeah. So this guy's a fucking idiot. All right. So I'm gonna take a quick break. Then we'll be back. All right. Okay. So we're back. All right. So let's pull up this stream's next story. Okay. So I want to go over the story briefly, and it's that there have been some recent developments in this. I really want to talk about this. So I'm just going to let Wolf Blitzer explain. Well, I don't think this is exactly Wolf's clip, but we'll just let whatever CNN journalist this is explain. Skip the ads.
A newly elected House Republican is facing serious questions about his record before he even takes the oath of office. CNN's Brian Todd is working this story for us. Brian, there are some glaring discrepancies on what is the resume of this Congressman-elect George Santos.
That's right, Brianna. CNN and the New York Times have looked extensively at George Santos' statements, his filings, and other records. What was discovered is that much of what this man claims to have done simply doesn't add up, and voters in his district may not have gotten the information they needed.
Yeah, he's just being deceitful about his background, about who he is. Like, this guy takes the city kid who was actually like born into wealth, raised that way, but just like bought a home instead, in rural Virginia and like lived there for a couple seasons on and off, he takes that to the absolute maximum because we know these Republican politicians actually do like grow up in pretty liberal areas, are exposed to multiple viewpoints, and as a matter of fact, do like know their shit. They're educated, they know things about the world, but I think most of them just don't believe actually in conservative ideology and just don't care. This guy takes that up to a whole new level. Let's watch.
Thank you for having me. My name is George Santos.
He's young, Latino, gay, and a winner for the Republican Party. Congressman-elect George Santos
Is what he said out of pure deceit. Yeah.
in a New York
They're
district
all
covering parts of
lies.
Queens and Long
All
Island
lies.
helped the GOP take a narrow majority in the House this fall.
My parents came to this country in search of the American dream. Today, I live that American dream.
But tonight,
Yeah, by lying your way to the fucking top, dude. Oh my God.
CNN review of Santos' statements and his record shows that his resume could be inaccurate. The New York Times first reported, citing public documents and court records, that key parts of Santos' biography were either contradicted or not supported by evidence.
Once we started turning on things, more and more things started to check didn't add up.
Mr. Santos.
Exactly.
CNN review found the same skepticism. Santos' biography says he went to college and earning degrees in finance and economics. Representatives for both schools told CNN they had no record of anyone with his name ever attending. His campaign biography said Santos worked at Citigroup. Told CNN they have no record of his employment. Santos claimed
Every group that he claims to be affiliated with is like, who the hell are you talking about? Santos George? We've never even heard of a guy like that. And now you're saying he's one of our alumni, he's one of our employees. Get the hell out of here. That's probably a huckster you're dealing with, man. And he wants to claim our status for his own greedy ass. Screw off, man.
he founded his own charity, Friends of Pets United. But
One of the first things they did
Oh,
was,
oh, what a freaking patron saint, dude. Oh my God.
some of the filings, because he was very specific about it being a 501c3. And when we weren't able to find that with the IRS.
there was no group called Friends of Pets United found in the IRS's searchable database, nor among registered charities in New York and Florida. CNN has asked Santos for comment, but he has not responded. His attorney told CNN the New York Times was attempting to, quote, smear Santos with defamatory allegations. Santos' Democratic opponent in this year's election.
Okay, but how are you going to call out other people for quote unquote lies? What when this guy's entire story just does not add up in any sense of the word, man? Like, come on with this, okay? Here, let's
said his
go.
campaign knew about some of these discrepancies. Asked today by CNN whether his campaign was raising concerns loudly enough.
We spoke to many reporters on these issues and raised these concerns to the high heavens. And that's well established. In fact, the DCCC, Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, put out an 87-page document about him, and local media, to their credit, did cover it.
It's a failure of both parties.
Fantastic.
And if you're a voter in this district, the truth is you don't really know who you just voted for.
Now, as for what-
We gotta vet political candidates, okay? I'm honestly gonna go as far to say I unless you're a horrible person and you've done like tons of shitty crap in your past, I really don't care about your background. I honestly don't, because you can honestly wear a clown suit every time you get up in the morning and do your presidential duties. As long as you're doing the absolute maximum and the best you can to get this left-wing legislation through, then I really don't care. Like, okay, obviously, people are really disingenuous, like how Trump claimed to be, pro-working class, but just represented, the typical neocon establishment Republicans, with disingenuousness like that. I can't care less as long as you're actively trying to get this left-wing stuff through.
with George Santos.
It's more of an issue of platform when it comes to candidates than it is, like what they've been through. Obviously, empathy is a good thing to have, but we got to talk policy here, people.
Here, his election opponent Robert Zimmerman is calling for a Justice Department investigation and an investigation in the House of Representatives. Now, on that,
He should.
CNN has reached out to House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy to ask what he plans to do about it. We haven't heard back, Brianna, and we don't necessarily expect.
That is almost unbelievable. Brian Todd, thank you for that report.
All right, and there's another video on this same topic. Let's pull it up here. Okay.
He said in an interview with the New York Post and a local radio station that he did not actually work for Citigroup or for Goldman Sachs, even though previously on the
So we lied. and falsified events about his past. Christ, that is the most brazenly corrupt thing I think I've pretty much ever heard a politician do in America. I mean, Jesus Christ.
The campaign trail, he said he did. Now Santos is saying that he only worked for them through his company, and so he called it a poor choice of words to suggest that he worked directly for those firms.
Wait,
but Santos
whoa,
also
whoa, whoa,
admitted
whoa, 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 whoa! For them through his company? What was it? Was like he contracting labor? Then technically, I mean, colloquially, you could refer to that as being employed, but for them through his company? What? Okay, was he ever an employee at Citigroup? Law of excluded middle. It's a yes or a no question.
that he
Do
never
not prevaricate. Do not obfuscate here, Mr. Santos. Okay?
graduated from any college or university after previously claiming that he received degrees from both
That's funny as fuck. Most Republicans actually do have a college degree, but oh my god, dude.
NYU and Baruch College. Now, he said he was embarrassed and that essentially he just talked it up to embellishing his resume and that everyone did it. So essentially, he was trying to downplay this entire.
Yeah, which screws over the people that have actually been through that shit, man. Like, I can tell you, if I was to falsify a resume, I wouldn't even, well, I'd say I'd gone to trade school instead of college, because, oh, Christ, my life would have been so much better if I'd gone to trade school.
Controversy. And he said while he is guilty of twisting the truth, he is not guilty of committing any crimes. Take a listen.
I'm not a criminal. Not here, not
Right.
abroad, in any jurisdiction in the world have I ever committed any crimes. To get down to the nitty gritty, I'm not a fraud. I'm not a
I've never actually been convicted of lying in order to gain political support. I think that's essentially what he's saying now.
criminal who defrauded the entire country and made up this fictional character and ran for Congress. I've been around
Yes, you did.
for a long time. I mean, a lot of people know me. They know who I am. They've done business with me. I'm not going to make excuses for this, but a lot of people overstate in their resumes or twist a little bit or ingratiate themselves. I'm not saying I'm not guilty of that.
Now, Santos did not answer questions about
But this isn't, embellishing a few things on your resume. Because if you have, a sort of maybe subpar average resume, you can get away with a little. But this is so amazingly brazen. Like, okay, I worked here, except the record actually falsifies that. These companies say I didn't. I graduated from this prestigious university, except for the fact that actually no. That never happened. These are core components of your life that you just continue to deceive about, and that's so unacceptable.
claims that he made about his heritage and questions about his financial disclosures and whether he followed proper protocols. And so there's still a lot there that we don't know that is unanswered for. I suspect this will not quell the calls for him to not serve in Congress. So far, however, Pam, GOP leaders are silent.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if it stays
Yeah,
that way.
because
after
of
this
course they
interview.
are.
Did he say why he made those statements in the first place? What was his reasoning, for example, saying that he graduated from these, had degrees from these colleges, and yet he never had a college degree?
Yeah, he didn't really give a reasoning other than trying to suggest that it's a common trait to lie on your resume or to embellish a little bit. But Cam, this is a big deal. He's about to serve as a member of Congress. He misrepresented who he was. In normal circumstances, if someone lied on their resume, they probably would be fired.
Like,
but in this case, the voters
huge
decide
lies.
to stick around. There's not much anyone can do unless Congress decides not to keep him. But that is a decision up to leader Kevin McCarthy. And as of right now, like I said, he's silent, and he probably needs every speaker vote he can get next week.
Yeah, he does. Wonder if that's a factor in all of this. We'll need to know. Thank you.
Yeah, McCarthy, I don't think he's gonna go after it. Because he's obviously gonna waste America's time by just, investigating what Hunter Biden's balls are up to one given weekend. But, again, it's just, man, I really, really hope this brazen liar actually gets punished for his crimes. That's that. It's close to 9. Maybe one more segment. Okay. I think we can quickly go over Musk's. Yeah. I think we can go over Musk's Twitter feed because it is totally off the freaking walls. Here we go. I had this saved for the third rail, but it's going to be a short segment, so I feel it would be appropriate for this stream. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Twitter. All right. So under his tweets and replies tab, just buckle up, man. Buckle up. Brace yourself. Okay. What are your opinion on Vosh, Destiny, and Hasanabe and their role on the left? I think Vosh and Hasanabe are really good forces for leftism. I want them to grow. I want them to have significant political leverage when it actually comes to policy and changing things for the better in the world. It's just that I think they're too preoccupied with just content, their streaming careers, and clout in general. I think if they dabbled more in direct action, then they could actually get things done. Like, especially Hassan, because he talks about labor, but I think there's definitely more he could do when it comes to these labor movements. And in addition to that, Vosh also the same thing. He does like stuff for Planned Parenthood, stuff for Progressive Victory 2022. He raises money for Ukraine and Palestine, but again, I think there's so many more modes and routes they both could go down to actually support grassroots on the ground leftist movements. But I think they do believe in what they say. It's just that they could, be better leftists. And obviously, Hassan has his problems. Even though he has like a really diligent work ethic, he streams for like 27 hours a day, but he's absolutely learned in theory, and the only policy he can espouse is, milquetoast social democratic reform. And Vosh, on the other hand, same issue with on the ground leftism, but he could also sorry, fucking cable grew out there. Yeah. Train of thought. What was I on? So yeah, Vosh. He is on this moving fortress arc, which I could praise now. It's just that I guess I just disagree with him on this idea of worker co-op socialism. I mean, market economies, they're absolutely... I think they're immoral, inefficient at allocating commodities and resources to those who can't afford certain luxuries and privileges and don't have the money for it. And yeah, I guess it's just a classic political disagreement between me and him in terms of policy. But yeah, I generally like them. I think they're a couple of the best leftists on YouTube and Twitch. So let's get into Musk's absolutely off the walls shit here. Okay. Something went horribly wrong with the millennial generation. Okay. Retweeted from Wall Street Silver. Hooters is shutting down and rebranding after studies show that millennials aren't that into boobs. Okay, well, one, I beg to differ. I guess if you polled most millennials on as to whether they like boobs or not, most of them would say yes, they do like boobs. And, it's undeniable. I'm pretty sure everybody likes boobs. Okay, like unless you're an extremely homosexual man, I don't think you don't like boobs. But okay. And okay, what's necessarily wrong with not liking boobs? Suppose you're asexual. Suppose you're this homosexual man. I don't think there's anything wrong with embodying those sexual characteristics. But okay, I guess that tweet is hyperbole. But okay, Elon, if you could let the world know that millennials do in fact love boobs, that'd be really cool. Few? Oh, okay. So the redheaded libertarian. Oh, Jesus Christ. What are we getting ourselves into now? I'm paraphrasing Dr. Peterson when I say that this is worse than being untruthful. This is anti-truth, which coming from the APA is far more dangerous. Traditional masculinity, labeled harmful by the American Psychological Association and Elon, replies with 2 exclamation points. So here's another contradiction in conservative ideology. They constantly emphasize traditional masculinity while also painting men as victims because they have higher rates of suicide, are burdened with work, generally face, really astounding rates of depression and mental illness and loneliness. But that's because of you all. That's because of conservatives. They constantly emphasize how men cannot express their emotions, how they absolutely have to be breadwinners, and how they have to adhere to this distorted perception of what Stoic philosophy is. And it's just destructive to men. Conservatives propagate this really harmful ideology. I mean, back during the Gamergate era, they were constantly complaining, parental courts are biased in favor of men. Okay, that's because, you encourage men. It's because, for one, the men just don't want them in divorce courts. And 2, you constantly encourage them to be breadwinners and constantly perpetuate the idea that women are the more nurturing, caring sex. So, yeah. The case for where I'm not going to go over this because, I think it's just, purely hyperbolic. How woke Twitter users view the political spectrum. No, I think it's far more complicated and nuanced than that. I think you're a good person if you're in this bottom left quadrant, and you're just horrible if you're in any other quadrant. But no, like they constantly complain about how these people are just quote unquote making up genders when, gender is a construct. It's just emboldened by humans. It is made up. And they're degenerates and they're too open about sex and they're trying to groom your children, but they're also authoritarian in how they want you to tolerate them. It's just so contradictory. New, Ukraine Zelensky says his government is preparing to participate in Klaus Schwab's World Economic Forum in Davos next month. And, yeah, right, JQing. Christ, Nazis really do have all the institutional power. Well, I'm gonna go now, folks. Bye-bye. Elon Musk is JQing, and I don't know what the actual fuck this world has come to. Bye-bye.